just being stuck, bogged in, not being able to just move, like just being stagnant, walking through flood waters, trying to get to safety.
In the aftermath of Harvey, volunteers pull families out of floodwaters in Texas. Plus, the most effective donation to help disaster relief efforts.
This is about a learning cycle we're going to go through right now to enhance the situation, because we cannot, this is unacceptable, the process that's going on now.
The new Secretary of the Navy facing questions today over deadly collisions involving U.S. destroyers. What's next in the Navy's investigation?
Come on! You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy.
Who needs summer camp with friends like these? What's next for the special volunteer who made clients smile at this older adult center? KPBS Evening Edition starts right now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Ebony Monet. San Diego is in the grips of the hottest heat wave of the year. KPBS reporter Susan Murphy has more from City Heights.
For a second straight day, excessive heat warnings are blanketing the county from the coast to the deserts. Here in City Heights at Woodrow Wilson Middle School, students were dismissed early to beat the heat. The school is one of 50 in San Diego on a minimum day schedule because of little or no air conditioning. School officials say the move is to protect the health and safety of students as temperatures soar to near 100 degrees. Sweltering temperatures reached near 90 at the coast and passed the triple-digit mark in places like Ramona and Alpine. El Cajon hit 100 degrees before noon.
It's hot. Yes, it's hot.
Dorney Cooper, an El Cajon resident for 46 years, was among dozens of seniors who came to the Salvation Army Center to hunker down in the air conditioning.
We never had it this hot. The sun is much hotter now than it used to be. I could tell in my apartment.
Cooper and many others who flock to the designated cool zones say they don't have air conditioning at home.
It is hot because I'm in a mobile home.
But they do know how to protect themselves.
Drink a lot of water, find a lot of shade, find the cool zone.
Jill Farrell and her 3-year-old daughter Cody found a place to cool down at a spray park in Santee Lakes.
Tell her what it feels like. Cool. Does it feel good though? Refreshing?
Bye. While Jade Blythe chose to embrace the sun's blistering rays through a hike up Cowles Mountain, where heat warning signs were posted at the base of the path.
Intense, yeah. It hurts your body, but it makes you want to go more. Yeah, it's just mindset, really.
Forecasters say temperatures will peak today, but the heat will continue through at least Friday. Susan Murphy, KPBS News.
Today's extreme heat could put a strain on the power grid, and operators have issued a statewide flex alert. The California Independent System Operator is requesting customers use electricity sparingly until 9 o'clock tonight by setting air conditioners to 78 degrees or higher and not using major appliances between peak usage hours of 2 and 9 p.m. Emergency teams have conducted more than 3,500 rescues since Harvey's floodwaters began overtaking Houston. Here you can see Customs and Border Protection pulling someone out of fast-moving water. Other people have been rescued from cars stalled and submerged. Rainfall totals set records there today, nearly 52 inches of rain. Once people are out of immediate danger, there are other health challenges.
The public health concerns following Hurricane Harvey go way beyond the immediate flooding and rainwater. The concerns extend to mosquitoes and the diseases they carry when standing water is available, especially in containers. Mental health is a concern. Mold growing in damaged homes is a concern.
The Environmental Protection Agency says they will be testing floodwater samples as soon as possible and providing assistance to drinking water and wastewater facilities as needed. In San Diego, there's been drama over whether the city would send its nationally recognized river rescue team to help. Sources told KPBS investigative reporter Amita Sharma the city is sending the team, but only after a public spat between lifeguards and the fire chief.
San Diego lifeguard Sergeant Ed Harris began the day with an apologetic and open letter to Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Harris wrote that his river rescue team was packed and ready to go to Houston Saturday, but was blocked by San Diego Fire Chief Brian Fennessy. He said some lifeguards then even asked for immediate vacation time so they could go help Harvey victims on their own. But that request was also denied. Harris said he was sickened by Fennessy's decision and told the media. Fennessy responded with his own press conference. The fire chief argued that Harris's claim was false, saying the lifeguards did not meet FEMA's training and certification rules. But by late afternoon, Harris said lifeguards on the river rescue team had received authorization to travel to Houston to help. Amitha Sharma, KPBS News.
Meanwhile, a spokesman for the mayor's office responded saying the leadership of the lifeguard union should be ashamed for using a national tragedy as a weapon in its current labor dispute with the city. Charities are stepping up their donation request in the wake of Hurricane Harvey. As KPBS anchor Deb Welsh tells us, money is the quickest, most effective contribution most people can make during times of disaster.
Can't imagine. You know, it's gut-wrenching. It touches you to the core. You know, what can I do for my neighbor? Everything else goes out the window. You know, it's just about helping your neighbor out.
And donating directly through a website gets money to a charity faster than a text donation, even though the text might seem easier. It's up to you whether to go with a local charity that might know the area better or a national charity that has wider reach. Both types, according to experts, have a role in times like these. Seniors, the disabled, children, and even pets are particularly vulnerable during disasters. Consider donating to charities that focus on addressing their needs. And be sure to check with GuideStar.org to ensure that your charity of choice is legit. Deb Welsh, KPBS News.
We're tracking the latest on disaster relief efforts in the Gulf Coast on air and online at kpbs.org. And we'll have more on the president's visit to the storm-damaged areas tonight on PBS NewsHour. That starts at 7 right here on KPBS. The new Secretary of the Navy was in San Diego today. He met with sailors and toured the latest littoral combat ship to be homeported here. KPBS military reporter Steve Walsh has the story.
We're out here at Naval Base San Diego, where Navy Secretary Richard Spencer spoke to the crew of the Gabriel Giffords. The new Secretary of the Navy was asked a number of questions, including the status of the investigation into the crash involving the USS John McCain.
The collision of the Navy destroyer with a tanker outside of Singapore is the fourth crash this year in Asian waters.
I've not had the ability to read the reports yet because they're still in generation. Rest assured, you will find out.
The Navy has been given 60 days to complete a comprehensive review. Spencer will bring in a second group to challenge the findings, which will include people from industry
who can share their best practices with us so we can find root cause correction. This is about a learning cycle we're going to go through right now to enhance the situation, because we cannot, this is unacceptable, the process that's going on now.
Spencer praised the littoral combat ship. Several of the ships are based in San Diego. Despite the ship's troubled history, Congress is looking at buying up to 3 more in the next budget.
Spencer was only sworn in as Navy Secretary on August 1st. He was actually not even Trump's first choice for Navy Secretary. He is a bank executive and a former Marine. Reporting from Naval Base San Diego, Steve Walsh, KPBS News.
12 Mexican nationals stopped at the San Diego coast. Take a look at this video. It was taken and released by the U.S. Coast Guard. Officials say on August 24th, border agents worked with coasties to intercept 2 boats, but not before one made landfall in Point Loma and the other reached land in Mission Bay. Tonight, the Mexican nationals are in the custody of U.S. Border Patrol, facing charges of illegally entering the U.S. State lawmakers are looking to ease California's affordable housing crisis by putting a $4 billion bond measure on the November 2018 ballot. The governor and Democratic leaders of the state assembly and state senate agreed to a bill. Lawmakers say it's similar to a bond measure passed 10 years ago that led to the construction of 52,000 affordable housing units in California.
It should be looked at as an investment for the state. And I think, You know, we can not house people, we can leave them live out in the streets, we can make people drive long distances because they can't find affordable housing to live, causing more and more traffic jams, more pollution, or we can try to do something in a common sense way.
Republican opponents say while it's not a tax, a bond measure would still pose a risk to the state economy. Another healthcare deadline is looming in Congress, but KPBS health reporter Kenny Goldberg says it's not about the Affordable Care Act. It's about the Children's Health Insurance Program.
The CHIP program provides comprehensive health coverage to low and middle income children. About 1.4 million California kids are enrolled. The program covers 9 million children nationwide. Kelly Hardy is with the Oakland-based nonprofit Children Now. She says Congress must reauthorize funding for CHIP by the end of September.
If the federal CHIP funds are not extended, California will run out of money in the CHIP program, and they'll have to start thinking about cutting back beneficiaries and benefits.
The federal government gives California about $2.7 billion a year for CHIP. There's bipartisan support for the program, but that's no guarantee that Congress will take action on it before the deadline. Kenny Goldberg, KPBS News.
California leaders hope more green will inspire people to go green. They're pushing a bill to boost the electric car rebate program by $3 billion. LA Times reports California has already spent nearly $450 million in electric car subsidies. Still, out of the 26 million cars and light trucks registered in California, only about 300,000 are electric or plug-in. This bill would lift rebates from $2,500 to $10,000 for a compact electric car. Lawmakers have until the end of session, September 15th, to approve it. Many young Americans are up to their eyeballs in student loans as the student loan debt reaches an all-time high. New numbers from Experian show the debt total is now $1.4 trillion. It rose more than $800 billion in the past decade. The typical student takes out nearly $34,000, but it looks like they're managing to pay it back. The number of late payments has dropped nearly 10% over the last several years. California legislator could soon vote to expand safety requirements for inexperienced young drivers. Backers say the proposed expansion of the state's provisional driver's license program will save lives. It would require training for all new drivers under 21 and limit where and when they can drive and when they can have other teens in the car. Those rules currently apply to new drivers under the age of 18. Governor Brown vetoed another bill aimed at young drivers in 2013, saying that measure was too restrictive. California lawmakers want to lower California's voting age from 18 to 17. They cite low voter turnout rates and say at 18, many young eligible voters are in a time of transition and may fail to register or even cast a ballot. The measure has received bipartisan support as well as backing from a handful of California teenagers at the state capitol today.
In the United States, voting is a privilege and a responsibility. We trust 16 and 17-year-olds to drive cars. We should trust them to vote as well.
As you may know,
since the bill requires a constitutional amendment, it needs a supermajority approval in both houses before it goes on a ballot. The San Diego State Aztecs are getting ready to kick off another football season, but this year things are a bit different. With the Chargers gone, the Aztecs are the only football team in town, taking over sole use of Qualcomm Stadium. KPBS reporter Matt Hoffman has more.
I see more people here at the press conference than normal, or more cameras at the press conference than normal.
SDSU football coach Rocky Long is noticing some extra attention now that the Chargers have relocated. The Aztecs are now San Diego's only NCAA Division I team and are highly touted this year after cracking the AP Top 25 poll last season. Coach Long might be getting more local coverage, but says any extra attention is not affecting players.
I don't think they think one thing about the Chargers not being here. I don't think they care. I don't think they think about it.
And perhaps they shouldn't. The Aztecs have been picked to win their division again this year.
Our team relishes the idea that we're considered good. I think our team relishes the idea that we're supposed to be good.
SDSU will host UC Davis in their season opener this Saturday at Qualcomm Stadium. Matt Hoffman, KPBS News.
Summer is coming to an end and most schools are back in session. Many kids spent the summer taking vacations or going to camp. But one 9-year-old from La Jolla chose to spend his summer in a very unusual way. KPBS video journalist Katie Shulev was there for his last day as he said goodbye to his new friends, some 10 times his age.
We are going to sing for him, the one and only, because you are our sunshine. Ready? Let's go. Come on. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray.
Every Tuesday and Thursday, all summer long, this is what 9-year-old Tate Phillips has been doing.
It's a really fun place to be. Someone plays music, and people dance, and we have entertainers, and it's really fun, and I just feel like I'm making a difference.
Phillips is volunteering.
I'll go refill.
Handing out instruments, blowing bubbles, singing and dancing at the Jewish Family Services Balboa Avenue Older Adult Center.
Well, I think it helps them interact with people and get active.
The Older Adult Center offers this special program to help some of the 60,000 people suffering from Alzheimer's or dementia in San Diego County. The 4-hour-long program runs Monday through Thursday and includes chair exercises, bingo, a hot kosher lunch, and live entertainment.
How much is that in the window? Whoop, whoop.
About 80% of the participants have Alzheimer's or dementia. One of them is 74-year-old Anita Berger.
Love you, Anita.
You know, it just makes me feel young again. I love the music. I love the camaraderie. And kids like Tate, just for us old folks, is just such a refreshing thing. And he is just a real loving little boy.
So it brings us so much joy to see his joy.
Tate's mother, Laura Diamond Phillips, says these are the only friends he's wanted to see all summer.
In fact, I don't think the child's had one play day. His friends have been here at the senior center.
Kids are sort of boring, to admit. They're hard to have a conversation with.
Phillips' grandfather, Ronnie Diamond, founded the Older Adult Center 17 years ago. He brought Phillips for a visit one day, and he was hooked. His mom had planned tennis and reading camps for the summer.
Until he set me straight. And I could see there was fire in his eyes. You don't understand. This is what I want to. This is what I want to do, and it's all I want to do.
I like to do it because it makes me feel happy inside. It makes me feel like I'm doing something good.
Older Adult Center Program Coordinator Aviva Saad says she's going to miss all of Phillips' help.
I have hopes that this world is going to be a super better place because of you.
Thanks.
Okay? Because of you, and we love you. So here.
With a large thank you card and lots of hugs, Phillips' unusual summer came to an end. But he'll be back.
On Wednesdays at my school, I have half days. So then I'm going to come at 1 o'clock and for the dancing on my half days.
Yeah. Katie Shulev, KPBS News.
Things are only getting hotter in San Diego. A heat watch is now in effect as temps top 100 degrees. Aaron Calandra has more in tonight's forecast.
The big story, of course, is the heat. We're under a heat advisory for much of the West Coast, parts here in San Diego County. And also the second biggest story, well, that would be the wet weather. We see some spotty activity, mainly the mountains and also the deserts, pop-up showers and thunderstorms, but could see some wet weather in other areas as well. Here's the big picture. That's pretty much how it looks. It is hot, and we are seeing pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Tonight, 73 degrees. That's going to be the low, which is actually really warm for this time of year. Our highs are typically in the mid to upper 70s, so it's going to be a warm night for us. Mainly clear. The next couple of mornings, you're going to notice fog in the morning. Normally we see those low clouds. Well, now it's going to be a bit foggy in the mornings, breaking up for plenty of sunshine. Taking a look at some temperatures tonight, Oceanside 71, Poway 69, Borrego Springs 85, and Alpine 68 degrees. Here's the big picture for Wednesday. We have this high pressure system in place. It is shooting up this hot air from the south, dumping it all the way up north. So the whole West Coast, from from south to north, we are seeing record challenging temperatures, very hot conditions. For example, today in Los Angeles, 100 degrees. Here we are in San Diego County, Oceanside tomorrow, a high of 85, Poway 102, Ramona 105, and Alpine 101. Dangerously hot conditions here. So make sure you're checking on your elderly neighbors. Make sure you, your kids, and also your pets are staying nice and hydrated here. Here's the advisories. Heat advisory along the coast and also a bit inland. Everyone here is under an excessive heat warning, so very hot conditions. Make sure you're trying to stay cool and hydrated. Very important. So here we are along the coast, temperatures in the 80s. We could see a little bit of rain this weekend. We're tracking that. So right now, warm and sunny skies. Inland, it's going to be dangerously warm all week long. Plenty of sunshine as well. In the mountains, it's even warm. Spotty thunderstorms and showers pretty much any day. Temperatures in the upper 80s. And then here we are in the deserts, triple digits, which is very typical this time of year, so that's nothing unusual. Could see some showers and thunderstorms pretty much any day. For KPBS News, I'm Erin Calandra.
I'm Miles O'Brien on the next News Hour. We're on the ground in Texas with the latest on devastating floods brought by Harvey. That's Tuesday on the PBS News Hour.
When Nicole O'Hara was diagnosed with breast cancer at 29, she had a double mastectomy. The surgery and reconstruction left scarring across her chest. NPR producers Meredith Rizzo and Morgan McCloy show us how a beautiful garden helped transform the scars left behind.
I think that our bodies are a canvas in more ways than one. They show the history of our lives. So there are markings of the body that they have a positive connotation, like laugh lines and wrinkles and even stretch marks from pregnancy. But then there are other things that just every time you look at it brings back hard memories. They called me at home and it's kind of like, are you sitting down? It's like a mixture of being kind of stunned and speechless, and then having a million questions, but not being able to ask anyone right away. You're just kind of caught in limbo until you have your first visit with the oncologist. They did the reconstruction with the mastectomy surgery, and it was straight on to the chemo. When I took the bandages off for the first time, I was like, oh, that's weird. But you heal eventually.
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm. If we could do like as much as that kind of like shading as possible, like you know, like in the whites, are kind of like bluish.
Sure.
Sort of shading. You know, you just got these big, ugly, red, inflamed scars, and to be reminded of those every time you look in the mirror can be hard because you're trying to move past that point in your life. I just think a really nice way to reclaim that is to cover those scars with something beautiful. And so then every time you look at it, you're reminded, I got through it, and this is my reward.
Such a weird sensation when you go over an area that's still partially numb, like where the nerves haven't grown back yet. It's like, I know you're doing something, but I can't really feel it, and then I'm like, oh, there it is.
Sneak attacks you.
So you can see it's kind of like in a bra sort of shape. That's how I wanted it, to cover the scars in the middle, but then also to extend beyond my shirt because I wanted to show it off. Oh my goodness. Hey, Corinne, here's your little sister.
That's my little sister. That's my big sister.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not covered head to toe in tattoos and have sleeves. You know, I have a family and a daughter and a regular job. This is just what works for me. And tattoos are just my way of reclaiming my body.
You can see more videos by NPR on the NPR YouTube channel. Two mountain lion kittens were found in the hills near Los Angeles. National Park Service leaders discovered the pair earlier this month. They say their discovery will help with research. Wildlife officials mention the two kittens may be a product of inbreeding. Now they're calling for a passage across the 101 freeway so different mountain lion populations can mate. Here's a look at what we're working on for tomorrow in the KPBS newsroom. On Morning Edition, new cops on the beat, the push for more border agents in Arizona. And on Midday Edition, paving a new path for cyclists, the grand opening of a bikeway that connects the Mid-City area to Mission Valley. That's tomorrow at noon on KPBS Radio. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.